Today on Fun with Cars, we're going to go rescue this 1974 Triumph TR6 that hasn't been on the road in about 4 years. This was Flora's dad's car. Let's see what we can do with it. We had about an hour drive to a road that's right along the Niagara River, where just before it dumps into Lake Ontario.
Unveil it like like this is the money shot, when you start. All right, today I'm here with Flora. She and her family owned this Triumph for many, many years. Sadly, her dad had passed, and this is part of the estate. So we're coming to rescue this Triumph and get it running again. Flora, tell me about the car and your memories of it.
This car was my grandfather's and then eventually my dad's, and I thought it was just the coolest thing growing up, being able to have any sort of convertible. It always was in the shop needing a lot of work as I was growing up, but
Typical English car.
it was brought out on special occasions, prom, graduation, things like that, and I have a lot of very fond memories in this car, driving around with my dad.
What would you like to see happen with the car? What would be ideal? And to honor the car, your dad, and the memory.
I would love to just see it continue to be loved and used, because after watching it sit for years, because I did not have the means or the time to put any kind of work into it, it would just be really nice to not see it go to waste and be able to see it running and loved again.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to doing that. Hopefully, get it running and driving and stopping and turning. And I got my detail department here. I'll have it all detailed up too. We're going to get it loaded and get out of Flora's way. So, all right, let's get set up to get this out of here.
So we were working through some technical difficulties, one being Flora forgot the keys at her house about 30 minutes away, and we had to drag the car the opposite direction to get it up on the tow dolly. The other one is I got a brand new camera, and we had some audio problems. We had some glitches with this, and I really apologize for that, and I thank you for your patience while we work through those technical difficulties. Once we got this tow dolly hooked back up to the car, we were able to drag the Triumph onto the tow dolly and get it strapped in for the ride home. Because the highway speeds exceed probably the ideal speed to take it on a tow dolly, we went the back roads on the way home, so it took a little longer, but we were aiming to get it home safely in one piece so that we could start working on it, and we started work on it right away that night. I couldn't resist. I was very excited to get this car going again. You think it'll run? Comment down below. Tell me what you think of this car.
All right, it might go. I think we're going to be fine. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me. I wish I had this mic about a couple hours earlier than it came, but here we are. Oh, yes. Bunch of the leaves that were piled up around here. I'm going to get the battery out and get everything all the dirt and debris out of the way. Make sure it's got oil in it and whatnot. And then I'm going to start washing this thing tonight. Why not? And then I'll start charging the battery, see if that comes around.
The first thing I wanted to do is clean off some of the mildew that was on top of the car. There was some significant amount of ants crawling all over it from being set under a tree. So I figured the first thing to do was to get all that dirt off, so that way if I touch the paint, what paint was left on it, actually the paint's in pretty good shape as you'll see, I wanted to keep that from getting scratched with my clothes or rubbing up against the car, so that I gave it the best possible chance of having a nice finish when we were done working on the mechanicals. Once we get this briefly washed off, we'll start going to town and get it running again. You think it'll run? Comment down below.
Okay, so today's flavor of the day for treatment purposes, Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer and some Ultramatte Black. We'll touch up some of the under the hood compartment. Not going to do a whole lot, but just trying to stop the rust from spreading, so to speak. Definitely make it look cleaner in here anyways. Little paint never hurt anything. We got the new battery here. First I'm going to see if the engine will rotate with the fan blade or something, the belt. Stick the battery in and crank it. Just want to make sure that the engine's not locked. No, it turns. Nice. Engine turns. That's good. So we'll put the battery in. I got the hold down, the paint's drying on, and I painted it up a little just so that's good. Got this. I'm hoping this battery's going to fit. Oh yeah. See, it's a tiny bit taller, but the hold down look like that would work just fine. This car and I are going to have some words. Let's try. I've taken apart the distributor to the point where I can clean the points, adjust the points. I've made a new ground wire to the coil. I've eliminated some problems I thought were there. It looks like we have spark. It just won't stay running. Now, granted, we are running off the fuel that's in the tank that appears to be clean. So I just went and purchased fuel from the corner it's ethanol based. I'm going to fill the carburetor bowls and see if that does anything. I'll show you how it does and doesn't run with the fuel that's in the tank. I have a coil wire straight to the battery because I think I'm losing voltage on the power side of the coil. We'll address that after. I definitely get a good spark there, so I'm not worried at all about that. I'm going to crank it. It spits and sputters, but ooh, it almost. Oh, come on. Stay running. Stay running. It wants to. So I'm going to try to show you this. This is the vacuum line that came off. I don't know if that'll self-adjust, but it's all dry rotted and cracked. That's going to the vacuum advance, so I cut a brand new hose, and we're going to put that on. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. I got the fuel bowl off this Stromberg. Looks clean. There's a little corrosion in the bottom of the bowl, but that's not affecting anything. I'm going to fill this with fresh fuel, put it back in place. I don't know if those floats, it seemed like as soon as I got the bowl off that it was spilling out as soon as I got it loose, so I don't know if it's flooding, but we'll have to see if we can adjust that. Okay, small update. I took both carburetor fuel bowls down, made a slight adjustment to the floats. Almost looked like the fuel level was too high. The other thing I noticed, the pistons, if these are like SU carburetors, these are Strombergs I know nothing about, but it looks like the same style dampening system that the SUs have. There's no oil in them and the pistons just come straight up. So we're going to add some oil to them. Maybe that has something to do with it. So we have fresh fuel in the bowls. Whether that helps or not, no idea. Whether I'm making a mistake or not with the oil in here, no idea. But the only way we're going to find out is by trying it. So add some oil. Let's pull up now. Probably going to make a mess, but that's all right. So So something good happens. Something's happening. It's not coming off idle. Looks like the timing is off. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Hey, Houston, we found the problem. I'll get you down in here. My big camera ran out of battery, so got to video it this way. But we're looking for 12 volts at the coil. I suspect we have a problem with spark. So I'm looking at this connection, which is really, really hokey. And this thing's really loose. Now, if I plug it in there, we got the battery charger voltage. All right, but when that lead is plugged into the coil, we lose it. I don't know why, but now we're only at like 7 volts. And on the ground side, we only have, oh, we got a volt difference. That's significant. So maybe this ground wire is really crappy too. So, yeah, we got a problem on the ground side. So we're going to look into that and pull the cap back off and look at the ground. That should be 12 volts, I believe, at least 9 volts to the coil. And this ground right here goes to this thing. I don't know what that is. Is that a resistor? Whatever it is, we got something going on. Oh, is that fried wires? What is that? We got something wrong there. All right, we're on to it. We fixed the ground wire temporarily till we get a new ground lead in there. That should be good. I have only 6 volts when I plug this in at the coil. I don't think that's enough. I think wherever that's getting power from is a problem. You know, English cars and electricity don't get along too well. So what we're going to do, we're going to hook this directly up to power. And then we'll try firing it up. Here goes nothing. Well, it's got promise. Seems like we have spark now. Don't know if we have... Nope, seems like we have spark now. I don't know if we have fuel. I'll give it some go. Yeah, it just dies when I touch the gas. The points. I got a hot wire to the battery for the coil because I don't think that's getting 12 volts. Looking at the spark plugs, I don't know if you can see that. Spark plugs look a little crappy. So I'm going to take out the spark plugs, check the gap, and clean them and see if that gets us anywhere. Lots of updates. I filed the points because checking with the voltmeter after trying to run it a few times, it showed that there was 0 voltage coming through the points on one side of it. We also hooked up the wire from the ignition. I'm almost wondering if it's supposed to be 6 volts, if it's got a ballast or something. It's a Lucas ignition system. So now we got the coil hooked back up. We're gonna try lighting this thing off. So let's see if I can reach the keys. And nothing. So the problem is definitely in the points, no doubt. No doubt. So, oh, well, you also have to hook the ignition coil up. But I don't like that connector, it's loose. So, that's another problem. So that may or may not do anything. Here we go. Let there be fire. All right. That's the kind of thing we like here. See if it's got any throttle response. Well, we like that a lot. We like that a very lot. I gotta check the coolant because I think it's low. So stand by, it's running. And it's running pretty damn good. I got a good alternator according to my little Stanley battery tester charger. Yeah, so we're getting it warm. Choke is off. I'm going to put the air cleaner back on. Maybe we'll drive it around the yard. I'm going to send Flora a video now. Sorry for the wind today. It's a sunny, beautiful day in Buffalo, but the wind is pretty brilliant here today. I have the ground wire that I had made a temporary wire for. I got to solder that part on. Got a brand new set of points and condensers from Napa. They had it in stock. Good thing we checked the packages before I left there because somebody had returned the condenser in the points box and that wasn't going to work. So anyways, we're putting points and condenser in because when I checked across the points, I had a ground here and no ground here with the points closed. So that's a problem. So hopefully we got this right now, and I'm going to unscrew those and put them in.
Now that we got the new points and condenser in, I'm taking the car for a test drive for the first time and got it running, and it runs really strong. Feels like it will pull through all the gears without stalling. The fuel system seems fine. The ignition system now, after I got it running, seems to run good. So let's take it for a ride, see how it does. This is my new camera setup that's mounted to the side of the car. Figure I'd give it
on the road again. Whew, that's got some smells.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think the turn signals work. Maybe the hazard will work.
Well, whatever.
Yes.
All right. You want to roll your window down, or are you going to leave it up like that? A little bit. Nothing wrong with a smoker. We're gonna add some Berrymans. That's Vice Grip Garage's favorite, and I agree. A little bit of Berrymans to the fuel, and we'll get some Berrymans to the oil, and we'll let it eat. I dusted off the old Craftsman timing light, advanced timing light, to set the timing on this. I haven't had this out of my toolbox in quite a while, as you can tell by how dirty it is. Anyways, I'm playing with the timing to get it close enough so that we can run it pretty hard. The spare tire is where I found the remnants of the old mouse nest. There were no mice harmed in the making of this video, but it has a little bit of a smell to it, so we're going to clean all this out and disinfect it. There's still some pieces of the mouse nest there. I'm going to clean off the spare tire. I like those red line tires, those are cool. And the rest of it's in the garbage. So, whew, it stinks. I got the vacuum out, my son's vacuum. Before my detail staff gets into this, I'm just going to hit the heavy stuff quick. because we're going to do a complete detail on this car. Took the passenger side carpet out that had a bunch of mouse droppings. I wiped down the driver's seat as best I could, just so I can drive around, air it out, and we'll get into fixing, patching the floor, and yeah, it'll be good times. I'd like to refinish or redo the dash wood, because the wood for the dash is expensive to replace. I'd like to recondition that one. I got my detailing department cleaning out the trunk, and it's stinky in here. So we got some heavy-duty dish detergent. There are some natural plugs in the trunk that drain it out, as you can see. So, oh yeah, where is that? Show a picture of that bottle there. Ajax antibacterial, right? Yeah, nice. Something. Yeah, but this should cut down the smell. The smell is about 80% down already, but this should cut it down some even more. So we'll see how that works. The hood latch too. The secondary latch is all bent up. The hood latch wasn't working. We got it so the hood actually latches now, so that's a nice touch. We got a plan for polishing this baby up. I think it's going to look good. Maybe I'll even paint those wheels. I got a few small patches to make for the floor so that we don't have a Fred Flintstone scenario. Detail staff's got the trunk looking nice and clean. We're doing one more washout. The smell, the funk level has come down about, I don't know, 85%. This I'm soaking up with some anti-corrosion rust dissolver from Rust-Oleum, my favorite stuff. Once this is all dried out, we'll hit it with a light coat of matte black, and then we'll put everything back together. But the smell, I can't even describe the smell before, but now it just smells like an old airplane in here, which I love that smell, actually. Old metal and grease. Here's what the trunk looks like after disinfecting and cleaning, treating the rust with some rust dissolver and rust converter, and then painting it. Looks a lot better. We still have to put the plug in that's missing, and put the spare tire and everything back in it, but it definitely looks. We took this from DEFCON 5 to about a Prop 65 warning from California. Anyways, we're making progress. Got done spray painting the driver's side floor. It's been patched. Looks pretty good. Once the carpet's in, we get it all detailed out. We got the glove box free of mice. Plugs back in. Now I just got to put the carpet in. We're going to take this to a ride. Maybe get it inspected. Detail staff in full swing here. Getting clean underneath the seats. Vacuuming up the remnants of the alien ant farm and everything else. We got a couple of prop rods, some a Pittsburgh level and a breaker bar to hold the seats up while vacuuming under there. Looks a lot better than it did. Smells a lot better in this car from when we started, so that's good too. Anyways, that's the progress so far. Look here, looking real sharp. There was pet hair or something in the back. Got all under the seats. Treated it for any of the bugs that we saw, you know, that were making their home. It smells real good. Pretty soon we'll take it for a cruise. Putting the final touches on the interior. He's got it all blown out. He's vacuuming all the dust and dirt off it. It's going to treat the seats so they look nice and shiny. And hopefully when Flora sees us tomorrow, she'll be impressed. Detailing staff's got this buffed out. That is the clouds reflecting on the hood. It is that shiny now, and it looks phenomenal. All polished up and ready to take for a cruise. Show it off. Flora just messaged me. She can't make today because she got invited to her family's get together in an hour away from us. Anyways, I just had to put in a temporary overflow, maybe permanent overflow bottle. I made it out of a Waikea water bottle. It's Hawaiian water, volcanic water. Anyways, we got the oil. Oil is fresh in it. It's ready to go pretty much. So check it out.
This is the next day. We have the vehicle running and driving, polished up and shining. We're going to show it to Flora. For the first time, she'll see the car running and driving again, and it's pretty much all its glory that it can be in this state. We met up at a local county park. Thought it would be the perfect setting for her to drive the car herself for the first time and see how it turned out.
Wow, that was
It was very anticlimactic. Here is Flora driving the car for the first time, getting some final instruction from her boyfriend, and I was giving her some tips on the quirks of the car. Sorry for the fluttering throughout the video. I don't have an answer for that. But Flora is now driving the car on the grass, away from other cars, just so that we wouldn't run into any trouble. And she's actually handling it like a pro. She has a basic understanding of driving a manual transmission, so wanted her to have the opportunity to actually drive the car herself and to see how it turned out, see how it runs. It actually starts and drives like it has fuel injection, even though it has carburetors. And I wanted her to get a feel of the car. We did talk about whether or not she wanted the car back, and give her the first opportunity. And it sounds like she may be interested in buying the car back, keeping it in her family. So that's awesome. Did notice a big smile on her face. Seems like she likes how it turned out. So here we go. We're going to do a final interview.
all right. So Flora, it's been a few weeks since you last saw the car. It was in pretty tough shape. Not gonna lie. I've spent a lot of time with this car in the last couple of weeks. My wife just loves when I'm out in the garage. What's your reaction to the car? You get to drive it. It was awesome. What's your reaction to the car now? Because when we rolled up on it, it looked like it was left for dead almost.
I had never seen the car in this nice of shape, or drive this well, or sound this nice, or smell like this nice.
Yeah,
it
it smells.
used to smell like an old tractor.
Yeah, it kind of had the mouse / old airplane smell to me, but that's just my opinion. We didn't get the radio working yet, but I figured the engine sound was music enough. So I hope I did this right and your experience right by the condition of it. We did our best to make it look as shiny and as nice as we could with the time we had. So.
Better than I've ever seen. Very happy.
Oh, that's awesome. Maybe you can send me some old photos where you were, you get embarrassed by your prom pictures or whatever pictures you took in it, and then we can compare before and after. Even if it's not taking pictures, we can do a screenshot of this.